First of all, thank you, Josie. I really appreciate you doing that with me. This is, of course, Deb did that. And Deb did that's a show that was intended to be recorded in the field. I was going to go out and do stuff with people, do whatever their job was, go see how they do their job and get to know their side of life. And it's a little difficult to do that right now. So I have, fortunately, Microsoft Teams and people I can talk to that maybe would not be so great to follow around because of their nature of their job. It might not work as well as, say, touring a factory. Okay, Josie. Josie Hansen. Did I get that right?
Yep, Josie Hansen.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Just, I don't know why, I just drew a blank there, even though it came out naturally. So, you are a life health coach? Health coach? Is that how you would describe yourself?
Well, I actually have a few hats. So I do have my life and health coaching certification, and I utilize that in the other areas of my life besides just coaching. I'm also an RN, and I'm also a yoga instructor. So I've been blending all of them together because what I realize is that coaching is really about the value of learning how to communicate with questions, with valued questions, and also to invite people to find the answers that they already have within themselves. But sometimes it's just getting that right question or inviting the person to be quiet enough in their head for the answers to come. So in yoga, there's a thing called Chitta Vitri, and it kind of translates to monkey mind. And so we tend, many of us, we have these 1,000 monkeys running around in our head. They're like the thoughts that are
like 2 million.
What was that?
More like closer to 2 million monkeys.
Closer to 2 million. Yeah. So, so it's learning how to calm those monkeys down so that the distraction of the monkeys, the distraction of the thoughts become quiet enough to allow our innate answers to come to the surface.
So do you also work as a nurse currently?
During COVID-19, I am not. I am laid off. And in my nursing capacity, I am doing some nursing. I have a client who needs daily dressing changes on a foot wound that she cannot reach. So I'm doing daily dressing changes for her as part of my nursing hat, and going to the foot doctor and things with her. So, but my day job is I work for a company that I am an instructor. So I teach home care aids, continuing education classes, and advanced communication and problem solving classes, and then nurse delegation proctoring for that certification on their license. So, and I've been doing that for about 5 years. So,
and are they still currently doing that at this moment?
No, No, we're laid off, so adult education is closed. Apparently there's going to be some kind of hybrid online something for some of these classes. As they know more, they share with us instructors. But currently, yeah, there's the classrooms are not like they used to be. So they are closed. So I'm enjoying the many benefits of unemployment.
Yeah. Yeah, so am I. It's kind of strange because I'm a realtor. This is a
Uh-huh.
self-employment thing, and usually you can't get unemployment when you're self-employed. So I am grateful that we're able to have that now. Definitely, I know some people are really struggling a lot, especially a lot of us work at home normally, and it feels like my life hasn't changed a whole lot, but it has. And I see that things are evolving, I think, for most people. They're sort of changing how their business is done and what they do in their business. Have you been
Oh,
able to keep your business up, your coaching business, using Zoom or
well, I haven't been
platform?
doing as much coaching. I've been doing more yoga, actually. So I know it's been a while since we've kind of connected. And so I've kind of shifted a little bit of my emphasis in my business. And so I have yoga with Josie. And, and coaching is definitely a part of that. So I've been doing some online work. I've also been going through some of my own mental contemplations during this lockdown and realizing that what do I really want my business with yoga and coaching to be? What do I want it to look like, moving forward? Because it's kind of like, well, what's the best way? You can't uncook an egg, right? You can't uncook an egg. And I was going to use something more personal and intimate, but that might be too much if we're being recorded. But anyway, you can use your imagination. Um, but you can't uncook an egg. And with this pandemic, we can't uncook what has transpired with the pandemic. Life as we know it, the events, the way businesses have been conducted, the way that we have cared for the environment or not cared for the environment, the way that people have commuted. Well, do we really need to clog up those freeways 5 days a week?
Yeah, do
Well,
people really need to all have the exact same shift and all be 9 to 5? Seriously, that's
exactly.
crazy.
And do we even need to be in an office? I mean, if we can work remotely during a pandemic, I think that there's going to be a lot of businesses and a lot of employees that are realizing that, my life is very valuable. My time is very valuable. My time is, you can always make money. You can't make more time.
Exactly.
And so to spend 3 to 5 hours of your life every freaking day in a commute when you don't have to, I think people are really gonna they're really gonna advocate for that. I hope that they advocate for that,
I
because
think it will continue. And one reason that I think it will continue is it's working. I
Mhm.
think in most cases, the productivity is it's spread out instead of condensed into 8 hours. You might be working your 8 hours within a 12-hour period because you're incorporating your normal day and you have a better quality of life. And commercial real estate is expensive. And just to keep all of that staff on
Yeah.
site all of the time, that's millions of dollars. And I think commercial real estate is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think so. And I think one of the like with the state, I have heard that because they were kind of tending towards that, a little bit, but they have really revved up the work remotely, work from home, to release the state of a lot of commercial rent, which
Mhm.
we're going to need that budget money in another capacity. So,
Well, the
and
budget's
I think that
shot. We're certainly, the states are all going to be in serious
all,
hot water financially. And
so I think I think there's going to be a lot of businesses that are looking at, is this another possibility, another way for us to reduce, or to shift a line item into, can we reduce that so that we have, more money in an area where we really need it, So yeah, so I think that that's one of the benefits that can come from this whole shift of awareness, because that's really what this whole that's what
an
this whole
awakening.
yes, this whole event. I mean, there are um some people and thinkers and connectors, they look at things from a different perspective. That this is really, it's kind of been boiling for a while, and it's just it's a shift in consciousness, it's a shift in awareness. And I think that with the whole movements that are happening right now as well, that is definitely, it's part of that larger shift of consciousness. If you think, many people have already made the comparisons between now and the 60s with the Black movement. Well, if you look a little bit before the Black movement really started in the 60s and Martin Luther King, there was the women's right movement. And so that preceded the Black movement, the civil rights movement in the 60s. So what happened in the last couple of years before all of this? The Me Too movement, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, all of these, like, no, we're not going to. So women really have, again, been the ones that have started the change.
That's how it's been throughout history and many times. Many cases.
I just kind of realized that as I'm saying that, but yeah, I mean, if I'm going to draw upon my nursing background, so Florence Nightingale, for example, who we often credit with the founder of modern day nursing, she was actually a couple of things. She was a statistician, so and statistics, I mean, I can understand how she utilized statistics. I mean, statistics are everything. I mean, in real estate, for example, it's all about statistics. Every month you have statistics. It's like how many houses were sold, how many didn't sell, how many are on the market, what was the percentage that, of sale to houses on the market, and what was the average selling price. I mean, all of that data is statistics. COVID-19, it is all statistics. Some of it we have incomplete data, so we're going to have incomplete and inaccurate statistics, but it's still statistics, right? So Florence knew that. And being the brilliant woman that she was, she learned to utilize those statistics to advocate for the changes that she wanted to see in the care of patients. The other thing that Florence was she was also a social reformer. In England at the time, women were very beholden to others. They didn't have the right to own property. They didn't have the right to inherit property, making women extremely vulnerable to the whims of others. Florence didn't like that so much. So, and what were the choices to earn your own money? What was the way to earn your own living? And so that was why she started the first nursing schools, is because she wanted to be able to offer women a way to support themselves and their children should that need arise. Even though she came from upper class, her parents and family were like, Florence, you're crazy. What are you doing helping those poor people? So so she was really, quite a forward thinker in her own way. So again, so kind of raising that consciousness. So that's kind of what I think this is ultimately, it's about raising awareness of, what are we doing to the environment? What are we doing with that, 10 square mile floating island of plastic in our beautiful Pacific Ocean?
Yeah, I don't think we're doing anything with it.
Yeah,
sadly.
Adding to it is what we're doing. So yeah, so hopefully this is, so
maybe we'll figure out how to use that as reclaimed land and build on top of it.
It's where we send political prisoners. I don't know.
There you go. How have you, do you have a family that you live with, or do you live alone?
I have a awesome 14-pound black cat named Mai, who is her original name is Maya, and which is happens to, which I did not know, she came from the pound. That was her name, which came from the pound. Maya is the Ayurvedic term for veil or illusion. So
okay.
Yeah, so she's
has she been keeping you company during these last few months?
Yeah.
Have you been lonely?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been, I because I live alone, I have done a pretty good job of doing the, stay-at-home orders. I can only take so much of it though. So yes, I have gotten together with my neighbor on the patio a couple of times. I do go to the grocery store with my mask. I have gone to Home Depot to get gardening supplies. So I have had those kinds of interactions, but I don't have the day-to-day intimate reactions. Yeah, that I would normally.
I just lost my light. Hopefully I'm not too dark now.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're
okay.
good.
Yeah, it just went out. I don't know. That one's a battery powered light, but I had lots of battery left. So have you, I think it's okay to go, I look at it this way. You do the best you can, and if you have a need, you take care of it. I don't think that being legalistic about staying home is helpful. I think that can cause mental problems. If you have a need, we need to do it, and just be cautious in general. Just be
Yeah,
smart. Just do it smartly.
yeah.
Don't take advantage of it. And
Yeah, there's a lot of research that's being done on some of the effects of people that have been doing a little too much self-isolation. I mean, loneliness is a huge concern. It's a very
it's a
well-known
worse,
mental
potentially
health.
worse outcome than COVID even. And yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not worth committing suicide.
Yeah. I mean, England actually has a division of a minister of loneliness because it's such a big problem. It has such poor, or such huge effects on our health. But no, I mean, I think I think March, well, latter part of March and April were really hard for me particularly, but I wrote down in my accomplishments list, I wrote down a few things that I wanted to get done. Well, how can I take advantage of this time? How can I make it productive? How can I make it really useful, not only for myself, but, perhaps for others? And so so when people would say they're bored, I'm like, really?
Mhm.
How can you be bored? I mean, I have way too many books. But
I get bored because I have 10 things I want to do all at once and I can't pick one. And then I just end up pacing around bored to death because I can't decide what to do. That happens to me sometimes. It's terrible.
oh yeah, well, yeah, I wish I had that problem. No, I don't. No, I mean, I think being a homeowner, I've just had, the lawn. It's more about when can I get it, when can I fit it into the other activities and appointments like this that I have to do. Like I missed mowing my lawn yesterday and it was just the right length. And today I look out this morning and it's like, darn it, I'm going to have to use my bagger because yesterday it was just short enough that I could just mow it and it would, didn't have to bag the clippings. But anyway, so yeah, so the whole pandemic, for me personally, and I don't know what the results from some of your other interviews has been, but definitely had some downtime. Definitely had some depression. Definitely some grieving. Um, you know, I had, and then first part of June, one of my uncles, actually, I went to his Zoom funeral. He
Hmm.
died of COVID. Yeah. So I actually have one person that I know that has died. Um, so it's so what do we do with all of this? What do we do with all of this these crazy times, and be a part of the change, because you can deny it, but it's still going to happen. You can resist
Yeah.
it.
You can resist it and go protest all you want. It's not going
I
to
mean,
change the fact.
but that is part of the change. That's what I'm saying, is that
Yeah.
the protests are part of, and I can relate with the muffled, because I have difficulty sometimes with people, and some people have difficulty with me as well. And then you add braces on top of it, and some words just come out like Charlie Brown's teacher. But I am glad to see that for the bulk of people that don't have underlying conditions
Yeah.
like respiratory issues, or and I know that hearing aids are definitely a big problem for a lot of people, and there's been many that have been lost recently. that people that they're being requested to wear them, and the compliance versus an attitude, because
Yeah.
it's
I think most people are compliant. They're going along with it. No?
no, there's a whole segment of the population that believes that requesting to wearing a mask is akin to taking away their right to vote.
Yeah, like the ones who were in Olympia protesting the stay-home order. I do think those are in the minority and possibly limited, more, uh, more common, more of those people in certain areas, certain
Yeah.
counties, like Snohomish County.
Yeah, I don't know which, but it's definitely, there's definitely, well, there's alive and well in Gig Harbor too. Unfortunately, that's part of the reason why I had to like step off of Facebook and then realize that there are some feeds I just can't go there because I can't.
I've hidden a few people.
I'm a science person. I'm as much, my operating system comes from science, intuition, and energy. And I know those things to be real. And I yeah, I don't want to go into the whole fake news thing and all of that. That's probably not the platform for that.
There's a lot of craziness right now.
Yeah. And a lot of this comes from, kind of coming back again to my whole, my particular view on all of this is, I look at in fact, I made a post on my Facebook page about this, is that when you look at it from an energetic perspective and you look at the chakra system, which is the energetic bodies of the body, the root chakra is all about safety, security, our right to be here, those kinds of things. And the lockdown really started. What was everybody doing? I mean, they were like going out and buying massive amounts of toilet paper. Like, what the hell? This is not a digestive, this is respiratory. I mean, it is not like you are going to die of diarrhea.
Seriously, if I'm going to stock up on anything, it's going to be alcohol and cannabis.
Exactly. Yeah. The important
things that might go away.
Oh, yeah, batteries so that the remote control will work, right? So anyway, so I was trying to like make sense of this. And so what I realized was that people's root chakras were being triggered. That whole sense of security, safety.
Why do you think toilet paper was?
Because that's in the root chakra.
But why toilet paper and not?
Because you're pooping. You want to make sure that function is secure. That you don't have to, use a newspaper. I mean, it's got to
shower
do with,
works perfectly well too.
Yeah, but it's still it's a trigger. It's a trigger reaction, and then then there becomes the hysteria that starts to happen because, oh, we're out of that. So then people, they want to scramble because they think that it's never going to be available again. They don't know how long lockdown. They act like it's going to be forever, So,
yeah, I had trouble finding sugar, basic essentials like that initially too. At first I
yeah,
thought, well, everyone's going to be baking and cooking more at home, but they're buying way more sugar than they need.
of course,
They were.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't leave some for others, which again, it's kind of a reflection of the way things have been going on, is that, we are such mass consumers in this country, and other countries as well. But we in America have this unconscious, conspicuous consumption.
We are extremely decadent here, and I do think that that's going to change.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that throughout all of this, so that, healthcare, we can get, one of my biggest dreams would be is that we can get back to some of the really basic stuff about prevention and
long-term treatment plans, not get me fixed, get rid of my symptoms quick by giving all these drugs. You need that prevent the heart disease in the first place.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from education and from understanding, when you have a sense of security, a sense of safety, housing.
I have two things. One is, if you could ask your cat one question, what would it be?
I would say that I would ask, is it good to have come into this lifetime as a cat in my care?
Okay. Cool.
And do they really have 9 lives?
Okay. And can you tell us where we can find more information about your services and get a hold of you?
Yeah. So I do have a Facebook page, and it's Yoga with Josie. And so there's contact information there. You can also find me at my telephone. Yeah, I know, crazy.
Wow.
So, which is text or call, and that number is 253-358-5438. And also from Facebook, then you can also leave me a message via Messenger. I'm on Instagram, but I think that's, God, what is my Instagram? I think it's Hansen Josie. I think I had to do it backwards. No, I'm not a real super active Instagram person, I'm just going to say.
I created an account for this channel, this YouTube channel, but I haven't initiated it yet. I just got all the names, created an account, all these accounts under Deb did that. I still have to. I'm not a big social media person. I mostly use it because it's a necessity for business. Well, Josie Hansen, thank you so much for letting Deb do this with you. And I hope we can do this again. Maybe after we're all not stuck at home anymore.
Yeah. Well, and even so, it's been just a very interesting and delightful time. I hope the content that has I've shared has somehow been either useful to you and or some of your listeners. And I'll keep you posted how my I'm developing a course on yoga and grief. So I'll keep you posted on the developments of that.
Great.
So,
Awesome.
okay, well, thank you.
Josie Hansen, thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your afternoon.
I see the light in you. Namaste. Bye.
Bye.